O little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie above thy deep and dreamless sleep. The silent stars go by, yet in thy dark street shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight.
Hi there. A reading from Luke chapter 2, verses 1 to 7. In those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken of the entire Roman world. This was the first census that took place while Quirinius was the governor of Syria, and everyone went to their own town to register. So Joseph also went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to Bethlehem, the town of David, because he belonged to the house and line of David. He went there to register with Mary, who was pledged to be married to him and was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born, and she gave birth to her firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in cloths and placed him in a manger, because there was no guest room available for them. Well, earlier this year we had a census in Malaysia, didn't we? And we all had to fill in various online forms to complete it. There was also a census in the year that Jesus was born, but they couldn't do it online. Everyone had to balik kampung to do it there on the orders of Caesar Augustus, the emperor in Rome. And that's how Joseph and Mary ended up in Bethlehem. But you know, that's exactly where they had to be at the time, because that's where the prophet Micah had prophesied that God's promised king would be born. As we go through tumultuous times, Christians have the confidence of knowing that whatever happens, God is still carrying out his plans. His plan was that Jesus would be born in Bethlehem, even though Mary and Joseph lived in Nazareth. And you know what? It happened. His plan was that this baby Jesus would grow up and be rejected. Happened. His plan was that Jesus would die on the cross to pay the penalty of human sin on our behalf. Happened. His plan was that Jesus would rise again to prove once and for all that he really is the King whom God had promised. That happened too. His plan was that the message of his kingdom would be spread across the world, and people from every race and language and nation would come to believe in him and submit to his loving rule. Well, that's still happening today. And his plan is that one day Jesus will come back to raise the dead, judge the world, and bring his people to his eternal kingdom. All the other parts of the plan have been fulfilled, and we can be confident that that last part will be as well. And so, my friends, this Christmas, let's make sure we're on the right side of his story. Let's come to Jesus, the King, and give our lives to him. Let's be his people now, so that we can enjoy his rule now and live in his glorious kingdom forever. Do join us at St. Mary's for Christmas and into the new year. We'd love to tell you more about Jesus, God's promised King.
Chalices will lay to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping, whom angels greet with anthems sweet, while shepherds watch our keeping. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him, Lord, the babe, the Son of Mary. While I see in such meanness state, where all sentence are fleeting, born hath no fear, God's Son is here, his love all loves exceeding. Their spear shall pierce in truth, the cross be borne for me, for you. Hail, hail the Word made flesh, the babe, the Son of Mary. So